Hello everyone, welcome to Twinsburg Schools Today. I'm Kathi Powers, the very proud superintendent of the Twinsburg City School District. And today happens to be my very favorite show of the entire school year because once a year we celebrate senior standouts in our graduating class. And of course it's the class of 2023 that we are celebrating today and for the remainder of this year. And with me are four of our senior standouts, and I'd like them to introduce themselves to you. First we have Quincy.
My name is Quincy Newsom. I've been a THS student since kindergarten.
Great. I'm so glad that you're here today. Thanks for being a guest.
Thank you.
And then Colin.
I'm Colin Kremer. I've been at Twinsburg School District since kindergarten as well.
Great. I'm glad that you're here today, Colin.
Thank you.
And Cece.
My name's Cecilia Radicelli. I've been a student at Twinsburg for 12 years since kindergarten.
Been here a long time.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you for being here. And Pravalika.
My name is Pravalika Muramala, and I've been a Twinsburg student since kindergarten.
Great. Well, I am so happy that you're here and everybody's here. And today, those who will be viewing our show will get a chance to learn a little bit about four of our senior standouts in the class of 2023. And you know, you have wonderful friends, and we could have celebrated a whole class worth of accomplishments, right? But Mr. Lynn and I talked about identifying four students that have really made the mark of accomplishment this year, and I'm so grateful that the four of you took some time out of your busy time to sit and chat with us today. So, Quincy, if you could start for us and explain a little bit about your senior year. What are some things that you've been involved in at Twinsburg High School?
I've been involved with having late arrival and early release, so that affects my schedule a lot. So I can sleep in, come in later on, not have to worry about being here all four periods, so that's good. And athletically, this is probably one of my best years. I mean, coming for football, I doubled my stats from last year, and it's got me multiple offers and given me a chance to play in college. So overall, my senior year has been pretty effective this year.
And you just received an award recently.
Yeah, for a scholarship for the Build the Bridge program. I just received a $2,000 award.
And can you explain a little bit about that?
So I know the Build the Bridge was a camp that my coach sent me to last year, and then we all went as a team this year. And I forget the whole breakdown of the scholarship, but it was really just filling like normal information and then write an essay about what football really means to you and like how it's affected your life. So I wrote an essay on that, and I guess it was successful in that part, and I got awarded for that. So that was very much appreciative.
That's great, and Coach Salter had a big hand in that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Now, you mentioned that you had late start and early release, but that meant the first 3 years of your time at Twinsburg High School, you were a very dedicated student.
Yeah, I know my dad told me ever since like my last few weeks in middle school that start of high school, you got to take it serious because it matters from freshman year to senior year when it goes to college. And I was able to maintain from at least freshman to junior year 3.53. So
good for you.
It's good.
Sounds like you've had a very successful year.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you.
What about you, Colin? What have you been involved in here as a senior at Twinsburg High School?
So senior year, I'm taking some AP classes, taking some college credit classes, and yeah, that's kind of I guess step up this year that I've been doing, trying to push myself a little more academically, and yeah.
Are you in any of the arts programs?
Yes, so yeah, I'm both in sculpture and digital art, both the second class. I took the first one last year, and so yeah, and it's been real fun just get involved with that and also have that kind of creative outlet for during school, and it's just been nice to get to do that.
Well, what's nice is our show 2 months ago featured Mr. Lundy's classroom with the digital arts and design coursework. And so I was in that room and I see a little bit about what students at Twinsburg High School are able to do. I'm so fascinated by the use of technology in the classroom.
Yeah, no, it is something that's really interesting. It's kind of, as things are becoming more digital, it's becoming much more part of a curriculum and it's becoming a more useful asset to have when going to college or going to the workforce or whatever. So I think it's great that we have these kinds of opportunities to take advantage of that in high school.
It's a great skill to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, we'll talk more in a second. And Cece, you have had a very busy senior year. We could do a whole show on you, right?
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit about what's been going on?
Yeah, so mostly in my senior year, I've been focused on athletics as well as like student government. So athletically, I'm a cheerleader, I do gymnastics and diving, and I also run track. I've had the opportunity to be introduced to college track, and hopefully I'll be running in, well, I will be running in college.
Nice.
And also for the student government, I'm the vice president of our class, I'm in student council, and I'm on a few of Mr. Lynn's leadership boards.
Goodness, you have been one busy teenager.
Yeah.
Of all of those things, do you have a favorite?
Track is definitely my favorite.
Why is that?
It's the most team sport, and not only team as an individual runner, I do pole vault. I've just been the most successful in it, so I enjoy it.
And you've been very successful in the pole vault too, I've heard.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm always impressed when students have such a busy schedule and you continue to give back. I mean, you do things charity-wise. You're very, you're just very busy, but very community-minded too. And when you mentioned about the team thing, that says a lot about who you are as a person.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that. Pravalika, you have had a successful year. Can you share a little bit about what's going on in your senior life?
Oh yeah, so I recently got selected to be a National Merit finalist, and that's based on your PSAT scores that you take as a junior. And I'm pretty happy about that. I think the hard work that I've shown through high school is really paying off now.
Yes.
And I've also been involved in our school orchestra and our academic challenge team. You might have seen this fall we were on TV.
Yes.
We filmed and we were on TV this January. So yeah.
Such exciting experiences that you've had this year. So for the person sitting at home who doesn't understand the National Merit finalist information you just shared, what else can you tell them about that?
So basically, it's based on your PSAT score. There's a certain threshold that you have to meet. It varies by state. And then so basically once you get picked based on your PSAT score, there's an application you have to fill out describing your extracurriculars, and you have to write an essay. And then once you get picked for that, you can advance to the finalist stage. And then from there, based on other things such as what college you might be going to and the strength of your application, you could be picked to be a National Merit Scholar. And then once you get picked as that, you could earn a scholarship.
Goodness gracious. So exciting. So you're still waiting to find out.
Still waiting.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I feel that you're going to be very successful.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I heard both you, Pravalika, and you, Quincy, say something about having to write an essay in order to get the scholarships that you've received. So, it's part of what we do at Twinsburg City School District is to help students be great students in the sense of reading, writing, math, and so on. So let's talk about your classwork. Can you identify a class or two that have been your favorite? It doesn't have to be just at the high school. If you did something at Dodge that really clicked with you, or even as young as Bissell or Wilcox, what might that have been, and why were the skills that you learned in that particular class so helpful to you in forming the great person that you are today?
I'd probably say American Sign Language is probably my favorite. I recently did just get inducted into the American Sign Language Honor Society.
No
so
kidding.
There's that. And I've done it for 3 years. I think the biggest thing that it helped with is give me a chance to communicate with my deaf uncle. So a lot of times, like I know some signs that I could communicate with him, but very lightly. I haven't really have a full-fledged conversation with him, but I'm hoping to at some point be able to really communicate to him and actually understand what he's saying sometimes.
That's a great lifelong skill, and I'm sure that makes him feel better too.
Yeah.
Being able to communicate with you. Great. What about you, Colin?
It's kind of tricky. A lot of classes have played a big role in kind of shaping me and helping me through school, and so. But I think some of my favorites have been Spanish. Spanish has been something I've really enjoyed, something I'm really interested in, and something I hope to be able to incorporate into work or whatever that may be in the future. And so with that, I've been able to, like Quincy was mentioning with ASL, there's also an honor society for Spanish, so I've been in that for a year now. And also there's the, I can't think of the proper name right now, but the stamp test basically for biliteracy. And so you can earn different seals based on your level of biliteracy. So I took that not too long ago and I got that back, and so I got the highest level of fluency you can get for the 3 seals, and so
That's
yes.
a huge accomplishment.
Yes, so
Congratulations.
yeah, and then Thank you. And then, yeah, so Spanish also has been important in kind of teaching me to go beyond what I'm learning in class, try to push myself more too. So I think that class is definitely, or those classes have definitely had a big impact on my success in high school.
Great. Cece, what about you? When you think about a class that's really been profoundly impactful?
Yeah, so I'm going to second Quincy on what he said about our American Sign Language classes. Our teacher is Miss Leumans. She's been teaching ASL for a few years. And I just think that that class is such a good gateway into communicating with people that otherwise you won't be able to communicate with. I've never taken like a Spanish class or anything. I've always been in ASL. I've been with Quincy for 3 years, but it's just such a useful tool using sign language. We have a few deaf students at our school, and I've also been able to help people like in the real life world using my sign language skills. We were recently in Disney for an orchestra trip that I went on with Pravalika, and 3 people were trying to order food in ASL, and the cashier wasn't understanding, and I was able to help them, and it was
That's fantastic.
yeah, it was really cool.
So you never know when that skill is going to come into real life.
Exactly.
And how you can use it.
Hmm.
That's great. Did you tell Mrs. Leumans that story?
Oh, I called her immediately.
Did you really?
Yeah.
What did she say?
She was really excited. She asked me how the conversation went. And
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it was really
great.
cool.
Amazing. You know, we haven't had sign language at the high school maybe 5 or 6 years now, maybe 7. But I'm really glad that we invested in doing that, because so many of the students that have taken that class have seen, maybe they didn't want to go on and study sign language as a career, but they are seeing how they can apply it to real life situations like you just explained. That's great.
Yeah.
Pravalika, what about you? A class that you just have found to be so instrumental in your growth?
I'd say one of those classes would be anatomy. I've always been really interested in the human body and science in general, and I feel like that class was really helpful in helping me to explore that. And I also got to learn a lot about the healthcare field in general, not just like the medical practitioning side, but other aspects like engineering and the business side. And I think it's all been really useful to me in figuring out my career directions and also just like a general interest of mine.
That's great. And that's a class that's pretty hands-on, too.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Do they use VR technology in that class?
We haven't
reality?
used VR, but we have done actual dissections. I really
Okay.
like doing those.
Yeah.
I enjoy the hands-on learning aspects. I think that class has been really fun.
Good. All right. So we talked about a favorite class. What about a favorite teacher or a favorite coach? Anybody want to share somebody who's been really influential in their development, and not just the name of the person, but why that person has been so impactful? Cece, you want to start?
Yeah, so to go back on what I was saying about our ASL classes, I think that Miss Leumans has definitely been a very influential person on my life. Not only in the classroom, because she's so, she's very, I'm sorry, I'm trying to look for the word. She's a really great teacher. Not only is she a good teacher, she also is a good person that you can just lean on. You can talk to her about anything. She's very understanding about what you're going through, or if you need extra help or extra time on an assignment, or just her explanation on things. She's great in both the teaching aspect and just as like a mentor.
That's good. Just
Yeah.
a really solid person, it sounds. That's wonderful. Pravalika, what about you? Somebody who's been influential in your life.
I would honestly say my anatomy teacher, Miss Suter Riley. I would say a good teacher can make any subject enjoyable, and I already liked anatomy, and Miss Suter Riley made it way better. She's just really passionate, and she's always willing to go the extra mile for any student. And she's also helped me find a lot of resources and opportunities in the healthcare field. Like, I had an internship last year, and I found it because of her help.
Nice.
And I think she's just been really important to me over my high school career. She's also my academic challenge coach. So I've gotten to get pretty close to her over my high school career, and I'm really glad.
Sounds like she's had a lot of influence
Yeah.
on your decisions, too, about your career.
Yeah.
That's great. Quincy, what about you?
I would say mine would be my 9th grade modern world history teacher, Mr. Hurston. He's really stayed connected with me ever since freshman year. Like I'm not a big history guy, but I feel like in his class, I definitely did enjoy it a lot. And he's always just kept in touch with all the sports I've been playing, with basketball, football, track, always asking about me. And he recently did just give me some letters of recommendation for my applications and my scholarships. So he's definitely stayed attached to me, and I really appreciated that from him.
Isn't that interesting, somebody you had as a freshman and how they
Yeah.
stick with you all this time? That's great. All right, Colin, Somebody of influence.
Probably one of the, it's tough because a lot of teachers have played a big role in like both developing academically and kind of career-wise as well. But I think probably one of the teachers who has helped me the most has been Mr. Manaki. He's always been there to help me out. He's been helping me through college stuff recently, getting ready for that. He's also helped with like letters of recommendation, application process. He's helped me both like with volunteer opportunities. I got to work a handful of times with the wrestling team at the school for volunteer work, and that also ended up actually turning into like a job opportunity. I work with AV Tech now, so
kidding.
that ended up working out real cool. And then also he's just was a really great teacher and just really passionate about what he does and make sure you like really get it. And it's so just
That's good.
all around he's had a big impact on me and been a big influence.
Now, you mentioned that you're part of the AV Tech crew.
Mm.
Can you share with our viewers a little bit about that job responsibility?
So AV Tech is basically who's responsible for live streaming, sports events, also concerts, and then also for sports events, the displays and graphics, things like that. So that's kind of been that's kind of the major role that you have with that.
I can tell you one thing, Colin. We didn't have live stream before the pandemic. And then when the pandemic happened, everything went live stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our families are so dependent now on us providing that service. So thank you very much for doing that, because it is something that happens behind the scenes, but something that's really critically important to families, because we have families out of the state who are watching maybe Quincy, in a game because of what you're doing behind the scenes. So it all kind of works together.
Yeah.
That's great. Now, community service is a requirement to graduate from Twinsburg High School. Everybody has to have 40 hours.
Mhm.
So what kinds of things have you done to give back to the community for your community service requirement? Cece?
So one of the biggest community service things that I did was I volunteered at the Twinsburg summer camp. And at the summer camp, we had activities like we would go swimming or we would go play in the woods. There's fort building, just a lot of fun activities for the little children.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the most impactful thing that I did was build good relationships with the kids. You built trust and friendships, and every time you return, the kids remember you. And it just makes camp run smoother, and it makes it more fun.
They'll remember you forever.
Yeah.
That's how that works.
Mhm.
Yes. Pravalika, what about you? What kind of community service have you been involved in?
So in the past, I've volunteered at the Twinsburg Library to help with the summer reading club. I really like doing that because I remember doing that when I was a kid. I really liked the summer reading club, so it was nice to be on the other end of that.
Sure. Yes.
And I've also done volunteering at like food banks and homeless shelters, and I really liked doing that also. It just felt very meaningful. It was a very genuine activity, and I think it's pretty useful. I think it can teach you a lot of skills, and I think it's a good experience.
That's great. I guess that's the point of community service,
Yeah.
right? Giving back.
Yeah, that's the essence of it.
Yes. Quincy, what about you? What have you been doing as community service-wise?
I think the two biggest was my junior year. I did the Twinsburg football summer camp, which was pretty interesting because I seen a lot of kids who actually I didn't think it would be a lot of kids that would come out, and it was actually a good amount of people. So it was real fun with them, just getting to know them, seeing them at the games now afterwards. And I'd probably say the other one would be the Twin States parking directors, like what us as my football team did, because it can be difficult at times, but overall I felt like it was really fun, and it was good to just be around my teammates and everything, but also get the hours for it too.
For sure.
Help everybody out.
It's fun when you see the little ones come to the camps and they look up to our high school kids. You guys are like rock stars to the little people, right? So that's kind of the fun part of it, I think. They'll remember you forever too, for sure. Colin, how about community service? What have you been doing?
So outside of working with the wrestling club or wrestling team, I should say, I also worked with the reading program at the local library.
Mm-hmm.
I also, as a kid, was really involved in that, and so it was neat to be able to be on the other side and get to encourage other kids to find that passion for reading. And then outside of that, also I got involved with the Spanish Honor Society has Thanksgiving food drive, so I got involved with that as well and helped collect food for that and publicize for that. So that was fun too.
That's great. You know, it's so wonderful to hear about the many ways that our classes give back to the community. We have a great community. I put up Twinsburg against any place, right? And it's so important for everyone to understand the importance of giving back to the community, the people who support us. So thank you for what you've done over your time at the high school. So, you know, our parents have been along the ride with us, right? So supportive of all of us. And if you had a word or two or a sentence to say to your moms or dads or parents, maybe you have an extended family in your home, what are some of the things that you want to say to your families as far as them providing support for you up to this point of high school graduation? Chris, you want to go first?
Well, I know academically, I got to thank my dad for everything, for really installing it into my head of how important grades are and just becoming a student athlete. Like, you understand, being a student athlete, you got to be a student first to become an athlete. So I understand that, and I got to give props to my mom again for helping me with track, because I never was a person that wanted to run track, and she ran cross country, so she always promoted me to do track, and sure enough, I did it and made it to regionals my junior year. So now I'm here at senior year doing track again and have found some love for it. But overall, I would just say, like, thank you. I don't know if I'd be the same person I am without them, honestly.
That's great. Colin, what about you? What words would you like to share with your family?
Honestly, just how much I've appreciated, how much they've supported me, and how much they've been there for me throughout my high school career and school career in general. I definitely wouldn't be where I was if it wasn't for my dad and my mom, who's always been there supporting me through everything, and just, yeah.
That's great. Thanks for sharing that. Cece, how about you?
I'm beyond thankful for the help that my parents have given to me. Not only am I super involved, but my younger siblings are also very involved. My brother's in show choir and a bunch of sports, and not only do my parents go to every single event that they can for us, they also attend my younger siblings' games. They're involved in fundraisers for after prom, and I just think that our school runs so much more smoothly with the help of parents, and I just would like to thank my parents for that.
You know, I think the reason that you're so involved is because your parents are involved.
I
think
definitely
they can say that
agree.
about everybody here, right?
Yeah.
Because your parents finding it important to be committed beyond the house,
Mhm.
but also giving back to the community through their support of what you're doing. So
Yeah.
I doubly thank them for all that they've
Yeah.
done, for all of your parents, what they've been doing. Pavlinka, what about you? What do you want to say to your families?
I would just want to thank my family for all the support that they've given me from a young age. My parents have given me a good foundation, both academically and otherwise. They always made sure to instill good values in me, and that support's only continued since I reached high school. And they've done nothing but support and encourage me in everything I've wanted to do. So I would just really like to thank them for everything that they've helped me with.
That's nice. So I'm very interested to know, what is your next? What are you going to do next? What college are you going to? What are you studying, and why is that the area of your interest? Pavlinka, why don't we start with you?
So I'm likely going to go to OSU. I just got into their honors college, and I'm going to be studying biomedical engineering.
Wow.
Like I mentioned earlier, anatomy has always been a really big interest of mine, and I think biomedical engineering is the perfect way for me to explore that, because I can explore not just the medical side of health, but also the technical side, and I would really love to be a part of technological innovation in the future. And I think with biomedical engineering, I could someday play a part in that.
That's so exciting. Well, congratulations for that decision. Cece, what about you? What are you going to do?
I'm going to be attending Mount Union University, which is in Alliance, Ohio, and I'm going to be a member of their track team for pole vaulting, and I'm unsure of my major at the moment. I wanted to do athletic training, but I think I'm leaning more towards being a teacher or a special education teacher.
Wonderful. And why did you make that decision?
Our school special education program has really had an impact on me. I've been to the Special Olympics for the past 4 or 5 years with them, and I just think that it's a really great thing to be able to help others that that might need the extra help.
Nice. Well, congratulations on that decision.
Thank you.
And that is the best profession in the world, I have to tell you. Colin, what about you?
So I'm going to be going to University of Dayton to study computer science. Through high school, I got the opportunity to take a handful of different programming classes, and it's something that I really enjoy, something I'm passionate about. And so that's why I'm planning on going in primarily for. But I'm planning on kind of focusing more on web design and kind of user experience kind of stuff, because through the arts program, especially with digital art, I've learned all about kind of graphic design, and that's something else I'm really passionate about, something else I really enjoy. So kind of just that cross-section between the two is kind of what I'm planning on going into to continue with.
And that whole field's evolving,
Mhm.
like at warp speed. There's always something new in that area.
Yeah, no, that's something else, especially with computer science, that is interesting to me, just how everything is constantly developing and how there's always something new that you can be working on or something new you can be doing. So,
Great, that's a great decision. Congratulations.
thank you.
Quincy, what about you?
I was given the opportunity to continue my football career at John Carroll University, so I'll be going there and I'll be studying sports leadership to hopefully become a coach at a higher level, whether it be high school, college, or maybe even the NFL with the connections they have up there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And we can say we knew you then. You know, here you are.
Yeah.
That's a great decision. Congratulations and good luck
Thank
in
you.
your season next year too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So, the class of 27 is coming in behind you. As the class of 2023 leaves, we have freshmen right behind you. We have just a few minutes here. If you had one bit of advice to give to the incoming freshman class of 2027, what might that advice be? Cece, do you have any advice?
Yeah, my advice would be is to get involved, definitely. Getting involved has not only made me get so many more friends, know so many more people, have connections throughout the school district, but it's also giving me so many memories that I don't think other people would have if they weren't so involved in the school district.
Great. So involvement is so important.
Super important.
Great. What about you, Pravlinka? What would you say to those incoming freshmen?
Honestly, I would go off of what Cece said. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. There are a lot of opportunities that you might miss if you second guess yourself or if you don't think that it's the right fit for you. You can just try it anyway and see what happens. You don't have a lot to lose by putting yourself out there and trying new things in high school.
Right. Get involved and try new things.
Yeah.
Quincy, what about you?
I would just say take your freshman year seriously, because your freshman year matters the most out of any other years.
Great advice, because when you're a senior, you have some relief to all that, the rigidity, if you're taking it very seriously as a freshman, sophomore, and junior.
Yeah.
That's great, and you have lived that, so you
Yeah.
give great advice here. All right, and what about you, Colin?
I'd say just don't be afraid to push yourself, try to push yourself, get involved in different things, and get involved in different opportunities, I think is really the big thing. Just always trying to do something else, do something new, try some new stuff, that kind of stuff, I think.
Great. Well, I hope our incoming freshmen take your advice and run with it, because clearly you have been very successful, and as our senior standouts for this year, I'm so proud of each and every one of you, and I hope that you continue to stay in touch with the school district, because your success is our success, and we're just so tiger proud of what you've done and can hardly wait to see what you will do into your futures.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that concludes our senior showcase for the 2023 school year. So very tiger proud of our students, and we so look forward to hearing about all their successes. Thank you for your continued support of the Twinsburg City School District. We hope to see you soon at one of our many events. Have a great day, everybody.